Adam Wason, Public Works Director for the City of Bloomington. Apologies I couldn't be there in person this evening. We're at the Association of Indiana Municipalities annual conference, and so going to participate in some things down here for the next couple days, but appreciate the board for being here this evening. Again, Adam Wason, Public Works Director. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. You all are in council chambers in Bloomington, Indiana, and any members of the public that are in attendance on Zoom this evening, we will have opportunities for public comment for all items on the agenda and items not on the agenda. If you're on Zoom, we'll ask that you use the raise hand or the chat function to indicate that you have a comment to be made. And then if you're a member of the public in person, you will just approach the podium at the appropriate times. Otherwise, I'll turn it over to Kyla Cox-Deckard, Board President for the Board of Public Works, and thank you very much.
Thank you. I call to order this regular meeting of the Board of Public Works this Tuesday, October 21st of 2025. First, we have messages from board members. Do we have any messages from the board this evening? Next, we have appeals, Title VI excessive growth appeal for 1901 East Viva Drive.
Hello, board members. Taylor Brown, Assistant City Attorney. This was a notice of violation to 1901 East Viva Drive. We have the neighborhood compliance officers who issued the notices of violation present this evening if you have any questions. This came through U-Report as a initial complaint of overgrowth. The pictures provided in your packets on August 26th were taken initially when the first notice was issued. No fine was issued at that time, or no citation was issued at the time, just a warning. Then again on September 18th, the second notice of violation was issued because the violation had not been corrected. And at that time, a citation of $50 was issued, and then the appeal was timely filed. In accordance with Bloomington Municipal Code 6.06.050, it is unlawful for the owner of any lot or tract of ground within the city to allow it to become overgrown with weeds, grass, or noxious plants beyond the height of 8 inches, or to such extent that the growth is detrimental to public health and constitutes a nuisance. The grass reaches that same definition, and in accordance with it coming over through a U-Report complaint, it also, I would think, rises to the level of nuisance, but happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. And do we have the appellant present? And if you can just state your name and...
Not here.
Yeah, no, there is good. If you can state your name and just tell us about your appeal.
Sure. My name is Natalie Bainter. I'm one of the owners of 1901 East Viva Drive. I'm not really sure if I should look at you or at you, but I'll try to include everyone. I wrote in my appeal that my husband and I are farmers. Our farm is in Hamilton County, and our only working mower, which is our two-wheel tractor for our farm, is also in Hamilton County. And the summer is the busiest time for farmers, and we don't always get the lawn crispy clean. We do have someone, I don't know this person, I've never met them, but it's my understanding from the regular hand officer who I've spoken with several times that there's someone who's not my direct neighbor who made this complaint. They walk around the city and make complaints like this. I wish they would talk to me so I could tell them why the grass isn't cut, but that's essentially the story. I didn't mention that about the community member in my appeal, but it feels worthwhile to mention. And I also emailed the regular officer about this, and he suggested that I make an appeal, so that's why I'm here.
Thank you.
Are there questions from the board for staff or for the appellant?
Question for the appellant. Is it your testimony tonight that on the dates of August 26th and September 18th, your grass was or was not taller than 8 inches?
On August 26th, I believed it was a different violation, and I could have been incorrect in that, but I thought that violation was about the landscaping type grass that was obscuring the yield sign on our corner. And I did have a friend come and help with that who has a weed whacker.
Okay, how about September 18th?
September, yes, my grass was long.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for being here in person. I'm just curious if this has been something that's been an issue in previous summers, if you have lived at the same address, if there have been other complaints about a similar issue at the same address in past years.
I don't know about past years. I believe that this year is the first time that I talked to the regular officer, who, like I said, was very kind and let me know about this person who complained about my house and others. I have not met this person. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
And I have a question for staff for the regarding the citation. If we could just get clarification that the citation that was issued on August 26th, well, technically was not a citation, but it was a warning. What in the detail of the August 26th, I believe we've got the September paperwork on file. I just was wondering if the August 26th paperwork included the same information requesting that the grass generally be cut. That's a question for city staff. Okay, that's fine.
Yes, the violation is the same.
Can you come up so people at home can hear you, please?
Apologies, sorry. Yes, it is for the same violation in the same code, excessive growth, 6.06.050.
And it didn't say anything about like a specific section of grass, it just said the grass
No, it
needs
just
to
said
be mowed.
excessive growth, correct.
Is it possible for us to see the actual notice of violation from the August date? We have the notice from 9/18, but not, it looks like a page from something in triplicate maybe, the actual written notice that was perhaps left at the address.
Here, I'll chime in too here. This is Adam, Waste and Public Works Director. I believe when I saw that, that was the warning that was issued for the excessive growth. I think the issue we have here is, while it was reported by, through you reporting a resident, it's clear that the lawn was out of compliance for an extensive period of time, why the notice of violation was issued. Whether this was done through neighborhood rounds that the neighborhood compliance officers normally just do, or if it's complaint driven, we're seeing that the property is simply out of compliance for extended periods of time. So just want to make note of that.
Thank you for that. I think the question here is, we've got the $50 citation, but there's just not a paper version for us to see
For
the
the
warning
warning.
that was issued, and just
Yeah.
making sure that the language was
Yep,
the same.
perfect.
But thank you for your explanation.
So on the warning, it would have been marked the same, and he would have just marked the top box there that you see that says BMC 6.06050 excessive growth, and then he would have marked a warning with no fine due at this time. We just print off what what is entered into our system as a notice of violation, and not the actual ticket piece.
Thank you. And we do have the kind of the formal whatever was input into
Yeah,
the
the
system
formal
that
one
says
is
warning.
just is like the citation just for the actual code violation,
Okay.
non-specific.
I do have the carbon copy of the one that has the detail about the sign.
That would be great to have.
I wish that I had it here with me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a little unclear, looking at the documentation here. It very clearly on the carbon that was provided for the notice of violation for September 18th, there are comments that say grass over 8 inches, please mow yard. It sounds like there's a little bit of confusion around what the directive was for the warning, and there are not corrective action comments listed in either of the documents that we have from the system.
Members of the board, we also have the neighborhood compliance officer who can testify as to what he wrote in that initial warning, if that would be helpful.
That would be great.
Okay.
Steve Tamowitz, Neighborhood Compliance Officer. So whenever I wrote the initial ticket, the fire hydrant was covered by the grass that she was talking about, and the yield sign was obscured. And I noted that on the ticket, and I also wrote, please mow yard. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Is there a motion on this item?
I move that we deny the appeal for Title VI excessive growth at 1901 East Viva Drive.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. I will call the roll. Crone?
Aye.
Roach?
Aye.
Cox-Deckard, aye. Motion passes. All right, next up on the agenda is petitions and remonstrances. If we have anyone who would like to make a public comment about something that is not on the agenda this evening, now is the opportunity to do so. If you're on Zoom, you can use the raised hand function or the chat function to let us know you'd like to make a comment. And if you are in the room, you can approach the microphone.
None on Zoom.
Seeing none. Next, we have the consent agenda. Under the consent agenda, we have the minutes for July 15th of 2025, the minutes for July 29th of 2025, and Resolution 2025-078, BPD disposal of lead and brass. Are there any questions from the board on the consent agenda?
Can you please add payroll, as I did leave that off?
Sorry.
I apologize, that was left off.
And you noted that in your synopsis earlier. Also in the consent agenda is payroll. Are there any public comments on anything within the consent agenda?
None on Zoom.
Seeing none. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the consent agenda for tonight's meeting of October 21, 2025.
Second.
All right, I will call the roll. Crone?
Aye.
Roach?
Aye.
Cox-Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next, we have new business. Under new business, we have alley closure on East Kirkwood Avenue.
Hello, Zach Bell from Engineering. Wells Masonry Restoration is requesting an extension of a permitted alley closure on the east side of 205 East Kirkwood Avenue. This request is to accommodate boom lifts performing masonry work. The traffic control would be in place from 10/21 through 11/07/25 for a total of 4 weeks of closure. Keith Roberts has supplied maintenance of traffic plans for all work and has notified adjacent property owners about the BPW meeting and the intended scope of their work.
Thank you. Questions on this item? Any public comments on this item?
None on Zoom.
Seeing none, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the alley closure on East Kirkwood Avenue.
Second.
All right, I will call the roll. Corone?
Aye.
Roach?
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next, we have contract with E&B Paving for sidewalk repair project for Kirkwood Avenue and Grant Street.
This is a request to award a contract for the sidewalk repair project at Kirkwood Avenue. I'm sorry, I'm Miranda Beaver of Public Works for Joe Van Devender for the street department. Missed that part. But this is to award a contract for the sidewalk repair project at Kirkwood Avenue and Grant Street on the northwest corner to E&B Paving. This project includes removal and replacement of concrete sidewalk and curb, removal and replacement of tree grates and frames that are provided by the city, and reset and relocating parking meters, adjust casting to grade, reset benches and bike racks, and reset delineators and signs per instructions. Sealed quotes were opened on October 6, 2025, and E&B Paving LLC was determined to be the lowest responsive and responsible bidder with a total bid of $92,222. We anticipate that this project will significantly improve pedestrian safety in the downtown area, and construction timelines and public notices will be coordinated to ensure residents and businesses are informed throughout this process through the end of 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miranda. I couldn't get off mute quick enough to do that one for you, so I appreciate that.
Questions from the board on this item? Any public comments on this item?
None on Zoom.
Seeing none, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the contract with E&B Paving for the sidewalk repair project at Kirkwood Avenue and Grant Street.
Second.
All right, I will call the roll. Corone?
Aye.
Roach?
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next, we have a service agreement with Groomer Construction for planter box repair at the southwest corner of Kirkwood Avenue and Grant Street.
Hello, Adam Wason, Public Works Director. This is a $1,600 repair that I didn't know needed to come to the Board of Public Works, but it is because it's a contract. So we're repairing a planter. This is going to go to Groomer Construction in an amount not to exceed $1,600. We request your approval.
Thank you. Questions from the board on this item?
Just curious, I guess we heard about another planter box that maybe was collided with. I don't know if you said this is natural deterioration or if there was an accident.
I believe this one was also on the corner where it was probably a delivery truck or something like that.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm just going to reiterate, we had talked in the work session about the fact that Groomer Construction has done repairs on these planter boxes in the past, and so this is within their kind of typical scope of work on these kinds of projects.
Yep.
Adam, along those lines, any consideration about things that might be done to help prevent this in the future? Bollards and things like that?
Yeah, so we've got bollards at most of these intersections. There's not room for a bollard at this one. The way it was originally designed is my recollection for this specific one. But long-term, we're having a longer-term conversation with Parks and Rec and others about the planters along Kirkwood and throughout the downtown and how we maintain and manage those, especially knowing that we've had kind of repeated hits on a few of them.
Thank you.
All right, any public comments on this item?
None on Zoom.
Seeing none, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the service agreement with Groomer Construction for planter box repair at the southwest corner of Kirkwood Avenue and Grant Street.
Second.
All right, I will call the roll. Corone?
Aye.
Roach?
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next, we have approval of claims. Are there any questions from the board on claims? Any public comments on claims?
None on Zoom.
All right, seeing none, is there a motion on the claims?
I move that we approve claims this evening in the amount of $1,511,280.58.
Second.
All right, I will call the roll. Corone?
Aye.
Roach?
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes. And seeing as there is nothing else on our agenda this evening, I will call for adjournment.